Hi, Leanne Aurora Blue here. Today I'm going to chat to you about vampires. What do we think of vampires? Do we think they're mythical creatures from tales, you know? Do we think they're people who are going to bite us on the necks and suck us clear of blood? Vampires come in many shapes and forms. It could be some who are skilled in the art of draining your life force or sucking out your energies, through your chakras. And they do this purposely. Now sometimes you won't be aware of what's happening to you. You might feel a strange sense of something, but you won't be able to put your finger on it, you just feel absolutely shattered, perhaps your mood lowers. Now, this video isn't necessarily talking about that kind of spiritual vampire in such. What I want to talk about is the kind of vampirism more modernly known as psychic vampires, also known as toxic people. And that is sort of where I'm basing this little video primarily. Now, I might make this video in two parts. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to finish this yet. I have to say, should you meet a vampire of any description, your best line of defence is always to remove yourself from their presence. This can be extremely difficult because with the latter vampire, they have something there about them, they're alluring, seductive, mysterious. When you first meet them, they're usually very charming, usually very intelligent. But it's all a big ploy, and the sooner you understand that and remove them from your lives completely, the better it is for you. Because my honest belief is, until you take off your rose-tinted glasses and see these tactics for what they are, you're not going to be in a position to get away. You're not going to be in a position to remove yourself. You're going to be stuck in their mind games, and it's mind games all the way through. And these people are wickedly skilled in it, They are really, really skilled. Now, whether that's at a conscious level, subconscious, or somewhere in between, make no doubts about it, they are very skilled. So when you meet the boyfriend, good looking guy maybe not sometimes, intelligent, they have something that draws you to them. Now often this is something that on a deep inner level reminds you of something, perhaps something in your in your childhood, perhaps you're subconsciously trying to relive an experience. Again, a whole nother topic. But they're charming, they're banter, they make you feel like $1 million to begin with, Oh my God, this guy, he's my Prince Charming. This woman, she's wonderful, You can't get enough of them. But they need you to think this way because they need to hook you in. They're actually incapable of love. Realise that, But by the time you've fallen in love with this persona, we'll call it, it's too late because you're already way too emotionally invested. But you have just fallen in love with a persona, and that takes a long time to get into your head and realise that. It took me years. I've just come out of a 6-year relationship with a narcissist, They always play games with your head. The boss who's nice one minute and is a complete arsehole the next, We've all had one of them. You might have had a few of those, where you feel like your work's not quite good enough, or he's always having little digs, or Oh, you didn't do this right, you didn't do that right. And then nice as pie the next minute. You know, the controlling, demanding parent who are constantly trying to strive to live up to their view of how you should be. Perhaps they want you to be a doctor and you want to be, I don't know, a footballer. You know, perhaps, I don't know, instead of an architect, you wanted to be an artist. And they don't agree with you with that. And how they belittle you. You know, this ain't good for your soul. This ain't good for your spirit. But you as humans, you put the blame back on yourself. You know, and you think, what am I doing wrong? Perhaps I'm doing something, or perhaps I could be a nicer girlfriend, or a better employee, or a nicer daughter, and or perhaps mum's right, you know. Again, boyfriends, I was constantly getting accused of cheating, you know. Apparently I used to go out to the local shop, and apparently I'd be sleeping with somebody in my local field. I wasn't so lucky. But that's what I would get accused of, you know. And it's completely illogical thinking. But it really plays with your mind, you know. That perhaps wasn't a very good example, but there's been other situations where he would say something to me. And I would say, oh, no, I didn't do that. Or, no, I didn't say that. And he would twist it. Completely twist it, you know, and so I would start questioning myself. Did I? Didn't I? And I'd be like, no, I'm sure I didn't. And then you'd be like, oh, don't know. So you back down, do you know what I mean? You can't, I want to say be assertive, but I'm not even talking about being assertive. You can't stand up for yourself, you know. Which is very damaging, very damaging emotionally. That is how it gets you. Start second guessing yourself, you know. There always seems to be a third person in the relationship too. If it's an emotional relationship, you know, there will always be this, I don't know, this other person who's constantly phoning, or though that's so and so, you know. There's a term for that, and it's called triangulation. When you start hearing terminology for situations or experiences that you go through, you realise, actually, these are all techniques. These are all tactics to manipulate and control me. You know, like I said, the other person in the relationship, there's always one. Might be a mother, you know, pitting you off, or you know, or your sister's better at you than that, or your brother's a doctor, or whatever. Always third person, you know, triangulation. It's one of their favourite techniques. When you feel one thing, but at the same time you feel something completely opposite and completely opposing, that is cognitive dissonance, and often that is a result of trauma. The ex is saying to your friends and family X, Y, Z about you, you know, really slagging you off, harming your reputation. You know, because they have to make out like they're the good guy and you're some horrendous, awful lowlife. You know, of course, he or she, remember, is coming across like, and everybody believes that he's this fantastic person. You know, toxic people. Ask yourself, how many times has your relationship ended, and then you've got back together? Do you really want to carry on in this cycle? Remember the keyword cycle. There is a cycle. You'll go happy for a bit. Things will start to get stressful. Tension will build. eventually there'll be an explosion. You might have a couple of days of the silent treatment. You might have a couple of weeks of the silent treatment, a couple of months of the silent treatment. You know what? You might not even consider it as silent treatment. I didn't consider it as silent treatment. I considered it as we both needed to calm down. And it was only until I really started seeing the light that I realised actually he was giving me the silent treatment. But if I wouldn't have been the sort of person I was, I would have been absolutely heartbroken, absolutely gutted, devastated. You know, where sometimes he or she is that person you once fell in love with. It's false. It is absolute bullshit. They're putting on the persona to hook you back in. They might be saying, oh darling, I love you. You mean so much to me. I'm so sorry. I promise I'll change. They may take you out. They might dine you. They might buy you flowers. They will make you feel like $1 million. Okay, they might promise to be a better husband, a better wife, a better father. They might promise to do the decorating that they've been promising to do for the last 90 years. Okay? Remember, this will not last. It is not true of themselves. And it's pretense. Now, they might be a great actor at the time, but actors can't live in their character 24 hours a day. Okay? It's pretense. It will not last. The technique for this is called love bombing.